right now we're inundated with so many different labels on products that it can be really hard to decipher between them. And I think they're also people have so many different beliefs about what they want their food to be, right? Do they care about the more sustainability related? Is it about GMOs or carbon or fair trade, or what is important to them, or local? And I think we use a lot of these designations as shortcuts we want something better for ourselves, for our families, for the planet. I've seen a couple of carbon-free or carbon-neutral labels very recently come out, and some of them I'll need to follow up with you to look at exactly what this one is. Sometimes they're using a lot of offsets. So what they're doing is they're basically purchasing carbon offsets to offset whatever their production cost, which is obviously a very, important effort if there's nothing you can do to reduce your own footprint. And so it's really important to understand, like, if that's the way they're doing the accounting. The way that we're starting to communicate about our products is actually not to give it a designation, but just actually tell you what is the carbon footprint with the numbers, with the data for our product versus the alternative, and provide probably more information than anyone wants about how we actually made those calculations. You see examples of this with, like, the Impossible Burger. They actually tell you in some of the pamphlets, it's this % lower water use across the supply chain. Those studies are third-party verified. It's a very similar process. But I think with the traceability that we're gaining, we increasingly have the ability to give real hard numbers, so we don't have to try to interpret these kind of informal stamps of approval and try to understand what they mean. I can follow up with you to see which one it is and try to shed more light on it. But I think
I'll add something to that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of off topic of what you're talking about, but you gave me it reminded me of something. First of all, I think how I want to see it is I want to see, speaking about bugs, over labeling and all this stuff, but I want to see a bug that's on the box eventually, within 5 years, that shows how much of the food waste, the waste stream that was created to make that box of macaroni and cheese, that box of rice, whatever, how much of all the waste stream that it took to make that product was reused, right? It's got a value to it, like 1 to 9 or whatever, some graphical representation of it, right? I think that's what we need to be driving towards. And one way we get there, besides designing it, because we already have, but is to put pressure on the consumer packaged goods companies, right? All you have to do is go on the website, say, what are you doing about your food waste? What are you doing about sustainability? Not this greenwashing stuff, please, but what are you really doing about it? So I want to encourage everybody, once a week, go to your favorite food brand that you like, even the ones you don't like, and just keep needling them over and over. They'll listen if you continue to respond, and hit their Twitter feeds as well, saying, what are y'all doing about it? What are you really doing about it? How do we find out about this, right? It forces them to actually, respond to a market market demand, and then apply more resources to research and realize it's an issue, blah, blah, blah. I want to encourage everybody to do that. So anyhow.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, one of the most standard definitions of greenwashing is if you can't verify that claim is true. So if this company's website isn't giving you enough information to know even what carbon-free means, it's probably not a great sign.
Social pressure.
To start with. But it's, the transparency is huge with these types of things.